Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast, Knowing Universe. This is Abhilasha Dwivedi and you're listening to the new episode 8, and I talk about the fireball. That's our sun, our very own sun, S-U-N. So our sun is actually also called as solar system because it has a system, it has a system. And it runs on gravity. And if you look at a picture, anywhere on Google Images or anywhere in your book or whatever, you'll always see that sun is in the middle and there is a lot of planets moving around. A lot of as in 8 planets and some of the dwarf planets, and some of them are, as there are some asteroids. So that's why a lot of them. So they are moving around the sun. And how they are moving around? Because of the sun's gravity, which is very, very, very strong. And what's the address of our sun? Sun, being a star, it is in the galaxy, and our galaxy is called as Milky Way. And little more detail that, like if you look at the Milky Way, you'll find that there is a spiral-shaped arm, which is called as Orion spur, and it moves away from the Sagittarius arm. Now this information in words, it's very difficult to describe. I would highly recommend though, look at some pictures. You'll be amazed that sun actually has address. Isn't it amazing? I would say so. So it is present in our solar system and gravity holds everything together. Now if we have to say that how big the sun is, if I just say, 1,000 times this big and 100 times here and 10 times there, I don't really think that it will explain, very well. But if I say, okay, go to your friend's door and knock there. Oh, oops, there's a coin down there, close to that. Yeah, you saw it, right? You picked it and now the coin is in your hand and you're looking at the door, waiting for your friend to open it. So the door is as big as sun and the coin in your hand, the tiny one, that's our earth. Yeah, the whole thing, the whole shebang was about the shape and the size, the comparison between the sun and the earth. So the door being the sun and the coin being our earth. Oh my God, so tiny we are, and look at the earth, it's so huge. If we compare it ourselves, it's just really, tells us that how big we are, or shall I say how tiny we are. But that doesn't mean that we are insignificant or whatever. We have our own place, which is very important. We are very, very important in someone's life and life in general. Okay, coming back to our topic where we are talking about the sun. So sun is not like, the earth, as in it is not as solid as earth's surface. But sun has surface, yes, but it is made up of plasma. And how that plasma is produced? Plasma is produced by the process of nuclear fusion, which takes place between the hydrogen atoms. And that plasma, it's a state. It's the 4th state of matter. I have talked about it before. Just go back to my previous podcast, All That Matters, you'll find it there. So the plasma which is made, it moves at a different speed in the different part of the sun. If you have come across any picture, any video, you'll find that it looks like, something is very intense is going on. And it doesn't only look like, it actually is very serious thing is going on. That's, I would say, that is happening. Sun rotates. Do you know that sun actually moves? It looks that it doesn't, but actually it moves. And at its equator, the sun completes one rotation in 25 days, and at poles it takes 36 Earth days. Of course, I'm talking about Earth days. I'm not talking about Jupiter days. Okay, so Do you feel, that having moons is something which we are proud of? Maybe Earth has a moon, right? But there are a few planets we don't have moons. Saturn has a largest number of moons. Our sun also doesn't have a moon. The Earth's moon follows sun. That is true. It shines because of the sun, but the sun doesn't have any moon. Isn't it interesting? I liked it very much. Now I would request you to guess how many years ago sun was formed. Big Bang happened around 14 billion, but sun was formed only 4.6 billion years ago. So it took around 10 millions, like little less than that, to form that beautiful, life-giving source of energy. So that is one very, very interesting fact. And as I have explained in The Star is Born, one of my previous podcasts, you can listen there, that when the stars are formed, it forms in the nebula, like with the dust particles, with the gases, etc., etc. So you know what? Some of those dust particles which were formed then, they are present, and they circle the sun. Isn't it just so kind of cute, isn't it? So, okay, coming back to the really harsh reality is that sun is very hot. Is it surprising? Yeah, it's not, of course. It's around 15 million degrees Celsius. 15 million degrees Celsius. Guys, if it is, 40 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius, it is unlivable. We cannot live there. It's 15 million degrees Celsius. But why? Because the source of energy, which actually comes from the fusion process, it requires that much of temperature. Because, that high temperature creates a pressure, and that prevents it from collapsing. So that high temperature is actually a requirement for sun to continue the way it is, to give us the energy the way it can. It is, as you know, it is a main sequence star, it's a yellow dwarf, and it has still a lot of life left. Sun is constantly giving us energy, and it's a dynamic star. When I say or when I use the word dynamic, anywhere in science, when the word dynamic is used, it means that, it's changing a little bit, but it is constantly changing. It's not static. It's just not moving. It's moving a bit not, but it's moving constantly. And sun is so huge because of its temperature and because of its importance. Can we survive without sun? No. There is one very interesting thing related to sun is that there is no possibility of life on sun yet. I never say, for certainty what can happen, but for now, whatever we know is there is no life on sun. But who knows? What do we know tomorrow? But it is the source of life for every one of us, each one of us on this earth. If there is no sun for a few weeks, just remove the sun from its place. It's a matter of days that none of us will be here. Sun is that important. And honoring that, the study what we do about sun is called as heliophysics. It should be, right? There should be something about that. Okay, so the sun, which is the surface which does not exist, is called as photosphere. Okay, and there are more parts of it. So photosphere is something which is a cooler part. Okay, cooler part as in 5,500 degrees Celsius. Okay, but it's much lesser than 15 million, that you have to agree, right? So it is still, we are not sure that how come it is so low. And the sun's outer atmosphere, which is called as corona, okay, it gets hotter as we are going away from the sun, and it can reach up to 2 million degrees Celsius. So it is much hotter than the photosphere, isn't it? So this puzzle we have not been able to solve yet. Yes. So the sun moves, the movement of the sun is pretty quick. It is of course, especially when I'm telling that sun moves, that itself is a surprising information probably for a lot of you, but it does, and it moves very quickly, as in like 720,000 kilometers per hour. I would say it's super, yeah? But still, it takes 230 million years for our sun to take one trip around the Milky Way. So this is not just a fact which I wanted to share, because all these things are available, you can read it. But what I want you to realize is that, the sun moves. Imagine how vast our own galaxy is, the Milky Way. It is that vast that the sun, which is moving at such a high speed, it is taking 230 million years to take one trip. Just imagine. And where are we? Are we even speck of a dust? No. Right? So I just want you to imagine that how massive everything is. And we are just so lucky to be, to witness all these things I would say that I do that. Now, when we enter the sun atmosphere, enter as in not physically enter, that's impossible, but with the help of a lot of equipments and all, we can have some estimations, and it has got some features. My favorite is sunspot. Like, if you go to NASA website, you will find a beautiful, a flare, solar flare picture, and you'll find some tiny bits of black spots on the sun, which are sunspots. And very, interesting is that those black spots are the cooler part of the sun. They are not really that hot. That I really like. That sun, which is this hot, also have some cool parts. I really love that fact. One very interesting thing is sun's activity cycle, which is one of it is called as solar maximum, and in that time the sun's activity is greatly, hugely, massively increases, and that causes huge amount of CME, coronal mass ejections, and during that time there is huge problems at Earth. We may not be able to connect with electricity or telecommunication. It has happened in history so many times it has happened, and the recent most was 2025. Recent most is going to happen in 2025. The last one happened in 2005, and that disrupted every communication. So how nicely I'm able to talk to you, I won't be able to do that when that happens. So something to watch out for. Sun is not always kind, but yet sun is the kindest of all, our own sun. Alright guys, that was my podcast for today. Be on Guru, have fun, and I'll see you next time. If you want to reach out to me, my Gmail address would be abhilashapodcast@gmail.com. Take care then. Bye.